As many of you know, I'm visiting my mom and dad. It's been a pretty productive um, 10 days, couple of weeks of just helping sort things out. My dad's 92, my mom's 82. They have all the things that are entailed in aging, and then add in the fact that they live in Italy. So I grew up in Europe. I'm German, grew up in Switzerland, and when I turned 18, I moved to the United States and they moved to Italy. So that's why they're here. So they've lived here for 30 something years. And here's an example of their house. This is part of it. Um, Parts of their house are like 600 or 700 years old, is the idea. So it's been a monastery. It's been, a, you know, the basement has animal troughs in it, so there's clearly animals live there. And yeah, there's just something really, as I'm getting ready to head back home, back to my life. Oh, it's challenging. There's a part of me that's feeling pretty sad. There's some melancholy in there, some worry about being so far away, and I just keep coming back to this place that they live has just it's kind of seen it all. And one of the coolest things about it is this. So this is a little swallow's nest. And swallows are these amazing little birds that, I mean, we have them in North America too. They're about, I don't know, they're like 7 inches big, and they travel crazy distances. So the swallows that come to my parents' place, many of them have probably been as far as south as Zimbabwe or even as far south as South Africa. And they travel and they come back pretty much. It's typically the same pair of swallows that come back. And I was just sitting there looking at this nest, which is right above an entryway in their house. And I was just imagining to myself, how many generations, how many hundreds of years has this been going on? And how many, hundreds of years likely will this continue happening when certainly I'm long gone, we're all long gone, and these generations of birds will probably continue to be flying over the Mediterranean and over the Sahara Desert and doing their crazy magical thing. And so there's just a sense of, I think, awe that I was experiencing. This is a view from their place. And the reason I'm showing you guys this is just notice sort of the smokiness of the scenery in the background. And this is, also the birthplace and where Leonardo da Vinci did all of his amazing stuff. And then if you look at, a picture of the Mona Lisa, what he's basically painting in the background is this, it's the same kind of scenery. And so I think the point is, like, I'm just feeling this big sense of just context and realizing, like, I'm just a small bit player in this whole scenery in this part of the world, and the swallows are coming and going, and they will continue to do so. And people have been doing amazing things in this part of the world for a long time. And the truth is, so it is anywhere we find ourselves. This has been happening. Like, humanity has been doing its thing. And for me, the reason I bring it up is it helps me put my I don't want to sort of diminish my stuff or my pains or my struggles, but it does put them into place, and I think if we can keep the bigger context of just the largesse of the land and the climate and the geography and the natural order of things, it makes some of our petty little disagreements that we might have with our neighbors or with politics or whatever it might be, it just kind of puts it into context. And I think in the context of, like, positivity, or reinforcing positivity, I think that's a really healthy thing to spend some time on. So anyway, without further ado, that's my intent for today, is just to see if we can connect with the so the grandness of what life and existing has to offer us. So maybe start closing your eyes. and drop into right here, right now. You're sitting in a chair at a specific place and time on planet Earth. And just imagine for a moment, wherever your chair is and wherever your body finds itself, just realizing that that little piece of geography has experienced a lot. It's whatever humans have either lived in the house that you are currently in, the area that you're in, the community. There was a time when there were no humans there. Maybe there were dinosaurs running around at some point. And prior to that, maybe there was just nothing. There were no mammals. There were just insects and volcanoes and millions and millions of years of just existence. And yet here we are, just breathing, being. And then imagine that same time scale moving into the future. What's it going to be like in another 100 years, 1,000 years, millions of years? Same place that we're hanging out in right here, right now. What will that be like way, way down in the future? It's kind of inconceivable. I don't think we can imagine what that will be like. And just, I think, highlights the sense of we're just existing in this really tight snapshot of time. And our daily problems and our daily worries are just that. And somehow we have to find the balance between taking them seriously and doing what we need to do to survive and take care of ourselves. And then I think also balancing that out with this bigger context of so much of the stuff we get worked up about just doesn't really matter. I don't know where that line is, but it's, I think, a good one to look for and just to lean into every once in a while, just to remember that this is all very fleeting. At the same time, it's also a part of a much, much bigger time frame. And we get to experience just a short snapshot of it. So, what do we want to do with this precious cosmic second that we get to have here? We can spend our hours getting wrapped up in complaints and judgments and frustrations and annoyances. Or we can just sort of dissolve into the sense of awe and wonder and creativity about what it's like to be in existence right here, right now. What all of this is going to be like when we're long gone. I know for me, when I first started contemplating this sense of sort of this bigger sense of existence, I felt a little depressed about it. Like if nothing matters, then what's the point? More and more, I feel like to some extent, because it doesn't matter, it makes everything so much more precious and valuable because we get to experience it right now. And we get to, on some level, choose how we want this brief moment to go. I think that becomes a really worthy or worthwhile focus of our attention. We can get wrapped up in staring at our phones and worrying about what the Kardashians are going to do next, or we can sit there and watch the swallows build a nest and imagine where they've been and what their journeys have been like and when they'll come back. And that's just a tiny part of the stuff that we could be focusing on. And take a deep breath in, long, slow exhale through the mouth, relaxing the neck, shoulders, chest, belly. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In through the nose, out through the mouth, pushing the air out. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, open your eyes, coming back to the session. Um, yeah, so I think the intent for today was to remind everyone that whatever we're experiencing at any given moment is just a tiny little snapshot of the big the big picture. In my experience, if I can remember the big picture, I do a whole lot better with all my little stuff. So hope that was helpful. Um, See you on Monday, everyone. I'll be back in California. Take care.